And a warm welcome back to Boat Extras. It's Wednesday the 22nd and we have some more bits and bats from Mr. Bezos over on Amazon. We have some more conduit, we have got some pipe reducers necessary to connect up to waste pipes, and we've got a waste pipe as well. That is what we need. Let's get aboard and let's get fitting some stuff. See you aboard. Okay, welcome aboard. So I've been waiting for this thing to charge up a bit because it was absolutely dead. So just a refresher, you can see that everything is neatly put into place. Well, that's all cool. So what I've been doing here is I've been doing a bit of plumbing and getting that secure and getting that secure around the back. I have given it a leak test to see if it leaks from the back or there, and it hasn't done. I filled that full of water, but where it is leaking, it's leaking from there. So I've obviously not nipped any of that up, and I haven't got the correct size spanner, so I know that that needs to be nipped up. Other than that, the back area and that area are good, and I've had a bucket out there, as you can see, collecting the water as it came out of there. So that is good, that's all clear. So I think we can put that fascia back in place and then put the toilet in place, because I don't think it's going to interfere with bolting. This is still loose. I don't think it's going to interfere with that because the toilet finishes about here. So I think we can put that to bed, put the liner back in there, which is that one there, because obviously everything's in the way at the moment. I'm having to climb over stuff. So I think we'll put that, I think we'll just put that back. Obviously the cables are there. I think we can cable it all up, and we can actually plumb it in as well. And then all we've got to do is remember to nip that up and bolt that properly secure to there, and then we can class that as done. So I think that is the first thing, or the second thing I'm going to do, because I've been doing it for about an hour. So that's where I'm at the moment. So I'll see you shortly. Bye for now. Right, okay, so we have that's now connected. This whole thing is now screwed into place. We have the tails all connected. I'm not going to connect them all up yet because it's not necessary, and also I can't remember which one is the automatic one out of those two. So I can't. I mean, obviously the red and the black are obvious. It's just the other two that I'm not so sure about, and so I'll just leave those as they are, because there's no rush now because we've got that connected. So I need to get those. Move those over there. Stay. So I've screwed it, as you can see. If you're going to get one of these, you get factory holes there in order to screw it down, one there and one there, but I also put one in there as well, and that just fits over there for whatever reason. I do not know. Maybe it's to gain access to underneath if you had to, and that just clicks into place. And then of course I've made that to go on there, like so. There we are, nice and neat. looking. And then of course that that box there goes in that place there, and we're all good to go. So you can see in here now the toilet is back into place, as is the back there. So it's starting to look like it's meant to be again. So we need to bolt that into place, but that needs connecting properly. I might even leave that and let Shane do that, because that's his trade, and he can just check it to make sure everything's correct, because at the end of the day he's going to come back and he's going to do that. So I'm sure he'll bolt that up for me, and I'm sure you will allow me to use somebody else to do a little bit of work rather than me doing absolutely everything. Right, okay, so what time are we on? 4:15. So I think the next jobs will be more conduit. So, oh, I know what we could probably do. We've got the bus bars and everything. So I suppose tomorrow, Thursday, we could start putting those bus bars in that would be the next connection towards the battery. As I said to you not yesterday, in the last episode, that the cabling gets obviously thicker as you get towards the battery, and then of course we need to consider some fuses that are close to the battery. Apparently it's better to have fuse breakers close to the source of where the electricity is coming from. So we need to sort something out like that, irrespective of this thing here, which is the battery switch that I've had for absolutely ages, probably as long as 10 years, I would say. I can't even remember what it looks like. I know it's a beast at the moment, and I don't know whether it's the right one or not. In the early days, I just automatically thought, well, that's what you've got to have, you know. In fact, I'll just set you up and I'll have a look at it myself. I've not even, this is something that I bought and never even oh, I see, okay. So we've got obviously both, which one would assume that both means another source other than just the battery bank themselves. Maybe that's got something to do. You could have solar, maybe. I'm not so sure. I'll have to read up on it. How does it work? Oh, I see. So you can't make a mistake. You've got to press that in. Okay. Both. Right. Hopefully the instructions are inside the box. Yes, they are. Connect same polarity, blah, blah, blah. Battery bank. Yeah, so we've got, but there we are. So at least we've got some information on it, which is good. So we've got that to consider. Oh yeah, the switches. Yes, of course. We've got the switches and everything to go in, which we need to make. That's a point. We need to make something where the switches can go on there, and maybe something. So I'm going to have to come up with something to do with that, really. And this rat's nest here. They're all going, as I said to you, where they're all going onto the switches, So yeah, there's a bit more wiring that we can actually do, and then we can use. We need to connect those the new pipe work that I've bought somewhere over there, maybe. We can use the pipe work and we can connect those up and then get them in a rough. We won't put them obviously in there because it's going to interfere with us walking around on it. Oh, there's the pipe work, it's over there. I need to change the exhaust as well. So there's a lot of faff and the bits and bats and a bit of boring stuff to do, but like I say, it's got to be done, hasn't it? So I'm glad we've got that sorted out. So I will probably see you, well, I'll see you tomorrow then, shall we? We shall resume then. Until then, got that light. Have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. It is, what day? Thursday, the 23rd. And I am going to do as my first job, welcome aboard by the way, welcome aboard. I think the first job I'm going to do today is get rid of that old part and that old part tucked behind that pipe there, that brass pipe, gas pipe. So I think they're going to get removed because we're going to put on one of these or two of these, and these have a nifty little thing like a non-return valve, which I thought was quite good, because I was going to try and make do with that and try and, you know, adapt the pipe to go on that, but it's not worth it. I've got these and these look nice, and I think it'll look quite nice on the boat. And I like that idea to stop spiders from coming in. Me and spiders do not get on. I don't know whether you knew that, but they don't. Yes, I know there's orifices all over this boat that they can get into, which, well, we're just going to have to address when the boat's finished. But that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to find something to go over that plastic nut and get that off. And if it won't play ball, then it's going to get chopped. So stay tuned, because I'm going to do some work. Bye for now. Right, well, when I unboxed one of the pipes, it actually fitted very well on the existing out thing, tube thing, whatever it's called. So I changed my mind. That fits snugly, and I thought that's one job less for me to bother about. So I've connected it up to there. I've obviously taken it away from the heat source, from the diesel heater, and that is now resting there. That eventually will sit there. So what I need to do now is, it requires, because I want it automatic, I need the float switch. And these two brown wires, now that I know a little bit about wiring, are 2 lives. So I need to now put some tails on those, because they are not going to reach where I'm hoping to put the switches. Speaking of which, switches, where are they? They arrived today, forgot all about them, and they arrived all of a sudden. Where are you, switches? Where are you? There you are. Tucks round the back. So we've got 3 of these. Whoa! We've got 2 that are working and 1 that's probably not now. And I think that's a recessed area. And I think maybe I could get away with, I don't know, I might not. But ideally, a recessed area would be good. It's either that or they end up going down here, which I did think possibly they could go sort of around here, out of the way. But once I've built out, by the way, this is all coming out. This is all rubbish. I don't want movement like that. That's, you know, probably 20-30 years old, maybe more, and it's been splodged into place. I think we need to put some proper things in there in order to put some whatever we decide to put over the top of that. There is a lip there, and I'm debating whether I should go in there as you can see. Now let me put the top light on. There we are. You can see that there's a lip that comes out. I'm not sure the actual depth of it, but one would imagine that the original boarding would have obviously gone under there and come flush down like so. So maybe that is something that we need to consider doing. So I can't go over thick with anything that I want unless I rebate it. And also, if it does go under there, then, you know, obviously water won't rot the top of the edge. So maybe it's the best thing to do is to put it in there. So we need to address that little problem. In fact, you can just about make out the two skins of the boat. It seems to have parted company there. I mean, it's not moving at all, but you know what I mean. There's little holes in there actually as well. So there was obviously a little fillet, there was a protective strip that went along there. So we need to address that as well. So I think what I'm going to do at the moment, I'm going to extend the tails ×2 and get those wrapped and put away over where they're going to live, and then we can forget about those and then we can move on. We still obviously, you know, that kitchen has to be finished, so I'm assuming, well, I'm not assuming, because these tails and everything are involved with front and back of this bulkhead. That's the reason why I've just obviously stopped working on this in this zone, but I need to get those pumps in like I did with that one, and I can forget about them because they're awkward. So there we go, tails have got to go in, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Bye for now. Progress report, sort of 2 steps forward, maybe 1 step back, but we'll have to decide on that. So the tails on the pumps are done, and those are sort of lying next to the pumps where they're going to live. The pipe that leads out of the boat is going along there and out of the side of there and up. You have to have an anti-siphon pipe leading, you know, a greater height in order to stop the water from ingressing in and then around and then flooding the boat. So you have to have it higher than the exit, which is there. Now the only problem with that, as I've suddenly started to realise, is that the escape for any leak from a gas bottle was meant to come out of there and probably have exited the boat there, and I've gone and attached that to there. Now I still can attach a pipe to there, but then where do I attach that? Because that is in an ideal spot for where I want it to be. The only other thing I could do is attach that one to there and then move that up to there. Or I bore another hole in the side of the hull and attach a pipe, attach this to its new connector, and use the old connector for what now seems to be the case, that was connected to that, because that brass connector that's jutting out of the box is the original one with the box. So I know that the circumference of that over there is very similar to that over there. So That's that, what's that saying? Where there's an action and there's a consequence. It's appeared. So there we go. So as I said, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Anyway, for now, I'm happy with the layout. I'm happy with where that's going to live. That is going to live there. Tails are done. Blurdy, blurdy, blur. So then the next task is to connect those tails up there to the pipes there. That's the next job, I think. Is there anything else I need to do in here apart from connect up? Probably. Oh yeah, there's a leaky sink, obviously. But the sink needs attaching, so maybe I can attach the sink. Why is that come adrift there? So is that there, actually? Weird. So yeah, I need to screw that to there, I think. That's the next task. And then we take it from there. So, until that happens, stay tuned. Oh, I used my new funky thing, and that definitely worked, because it's got temperature wise, you can crank it, oh it's not on, but you can crank it right up and everything melted like, well, like it should. It looks like an alien, doesn't it? Right, okay, I will leave you in peace and I will speak to you when I'm on the next job. Bye for now. Right, okay, so I have a plan of action. I am going to, these cables are not going to get fitted by themselves. So I've dismantled this because now I know where sort of how things are going. So I need to get them in, I need to get some of these cables into a permanent place, and in order to do that I need to make something to fix it to. Now yes, I have put a board on there, and yes, I could screw these onto here. However, with me screwing it temporarily to there, I saw what a rat's nest it actually was, and I don't like that. So I have come up with another idea that's going to make the cables look rather neat. But it does entail making a 2-skin cabinet. So that is exactly what I'm going to do now. Now I'm not going to bore you to death with it. I will take that off and I'll take it down there, and I will show you periodically how I'm getting on with it. It will all look right once I've got most of it made, because it's given me an idea of doing it down there, because I'm going to do, I'm sorry, I've got to do something on there as well, because I've got the switches to put into place. So if I'm going to be making something, I suppose I need to start making it now, because this area is never going to be done unless I get some of this rat's nest sorted. Some of these cables need to go into position, and now that I've sort of got an idea on how the layout's going to be, then I can start putting things into place. And if I can eliminate a cable at a time, then it's going to be easier for me in the long run. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start down there and I'm going to work my way up. Okay, so I'll let you know how I'm progressing. See you later. Well, probably filming it a little bit too late actually, but there's 3 pieces of ply that are glued together by that width. I shall tell you why once they are set. There is another set there, And also in amongst all this, which is purely there for weight, there's a section there, that piece and that piece is for the front where we're going to be mounting the electric. But there's a second phase after these have all set, so I can't do anything else with these. So I will probably call it a day for today, and I will get back. I shall get back hopefully the next day. So until then, have a good evening, and I'll see you again. Bye for now. And a warm welcome back. It is Monday the 27th, I think. It is indeed. And that is stuck to there, albeit a bit of glue stuck on the outside, which is not what I wanted. But I wanted it white, and I had a backboard that I'm not going to use in the kitchen. I have put that on the back of there, on the front of there, because I want it to match the kitchen, so when you open the doors you will see the electrics, but it's on a white background. So I thought, I have some of that will work rather nicely. So I've obviously got some strips of wood there and there, which I'll show you in a minute what they are for. So I need to get my drill, because it's a beautiful day, and I haven't been here for well, I think it's about 3 days actually, because I've been getting a few of my classic cars ready for the summer, and I took the opportunity of good weather, and that's what I've been doing. And I'm in one of them today. There she is. Say hello to Molly. She's looking very nice, and she's performing very well, and she's one of my, dare I say it, one of my most reliable ones. So I'll get the drill out of the back. But she's a lovely car. You can see her in all her glory. 1967. She's a Bobby Dazzler. And she goes like, how can I describe it? She's loud. She doesn't need much getting going. I like a bit of a clean. Bit of a polish, check her oil, and check the water, check the battery, give her a bit of fresh fuel, turn her on, and off she goes. She's like a little Jack Russell. That's how I could describe her, snapping at the road. So we're in her today, and maybe tomorrow I might be in Edna, which is the green one. She'll be feeling a little bit, well, her nose will be being put out, so we might bring her out tomorrow if she's good. So yes, where was I? So the reason for these sections of wood here are, once they're all trimmed into place, they are going to go there. That one and that one. So they're going to raise this board enough. Obviously one of them will have to be in sections because we want the cables to go behind. So the cables are going to go behind. I'm going to router sections within this board, so then I can place the fuse box there, and I can have the cables coming out of the routed section and into the fuse box. That's what I would like to do, and what that does is it eliminates looking at the spaghetti junction when you open those kitchen doors. That's the theory anyway, because they will be behind. And of course I need to make sure that, you know, if there's a bit of trouble or whatever, you need to gain access, then you can remove it and you can see everything behind it. So that's what I am making for the next couple of days. So, well, if you're watching out in this beautiful weather, grab yourself either a cool drink or a nice cup of coffee and sit in the sun. Or if you're doing a bit of work, just have me on the sidelines in your ear. Stay tuned. Just a little update. So I have now trimmed these pieces. In fact, I'll show you the one outside because I've just put a little bit of something on the edge. Hopefully that's getting good. So I've just, as you can see, I've just put a bit of white trim on there because when it's flat like, when it's like that, when you open the kitchen cupboard door, you'll see the white, and then you'll see the white on the top, like so. I don't know whether I can do it. Maybe I can. If I do that, like that, you'll sort of see that. And I've got an iron-on section I can put on there as well. Now the other side, this side, obviously I need to have it so it's like that. And I'm cutting out these semicircles in order to be able to drop cables through, so then it's nice and neat. And I'm using, well, as you can see, self-explanatory. I basically used my bandsaw to cut down, got the circles even on the other side. It was handy being ply anyway, because you've got these lines here that you can actually guide yourself along, and then basically I cut it down like so. I don't know if I can do it in one hand, but I'll just see if I can see what you're seeing. Yep. Work it that way, possibly so. One-handed as well. Come on, give me a round of applause. And then all I need to do is just use my this file here, smooth it out so there's no jagged edges for the cables, and that'll fit like that, and you can thread your wires through accordingly. So there we go, there's a bit of update for you. So I'll carry on doing that and I'll let you know when I'm done. Bye for now. Okay, now you can start to see it's taking shape. So basically that's going to go there like so, and the cables can come up through there. So although it's looking rough, it's quite sharp on there. We need to eradicate those. And do you know why we need to eradicate them? Because I want it to be smooth, but also I want to use my favourite tool. That is my router. Now that is smooth because I've done it on the other side as well. So we've got it so the cables can come in, no danger of chafing or anything like that. That gets screwed into there, and those cables can come up there, and it looks like a semi-professional's done them. I shall say no more. Go and get yourself a cup of tea. Okay, welcome aboard. So this is going to be, that's what you can see now. So you can see the little areas where the cables can run through. I don't know if I can get in there, but we shall give it a go. Shorten that a bit. Maybe I need to let those go and let those go. Sorry, I know I'm jigging you about a bit. Let's just have a little look at this. So toilet isn't going in there. Exterior blue lights is on a switch, so they're switchable. Well, I'll demonstrate with these anyway. So having the correct cables, I will thread them through, say there for example, and then they would then go through one of those slots there, and then they would marry up with whichever screw slot I decide to put it with. So then all the cabling will be behind here, and all you will see is them coming out and neatly into place, so you don't get all this business. This will all be tucked away behind here, which will be accessible of course, because you'll be able to unscrew the shall we call it the motherboard, and then that all these will go through there and then up there as well. I think I've got sufficient holes there. If not, I can always come through this way or through the top in future if there's anything else extra, but I'm sure, judging by the amount of room that those take, and even if the conduit follows through, you're going to get at least 2 lots through, so there's more than enough room there for cabling to come through and then come out through there. So that, my friends, is what this idea has been all about. The reason obviously for those tape there is to show me once I get that board up, I don't want to double screw over a screw, so I've just put those there just to let me know where these screws are located once the board goes on. So that's it really. So what I've got to do now is I've got to thread the necessary cables through and then sort of half put that up. I can't permanently put it up because we've still got plenty of room to put maybe the bus bars and maybe something else as well, so it's got to be easy accessible at this moment, and then once we've got all the cables pushed through, then it's at that point we can start snipping them and then putting them to size, because well, I still am nowhere near at the stage of getting this permanently fitted, but it had to be raised from there in order for these wires to be tucked away without being seen. So there we go. That's your little update up to now. What time is it? Okay, right, I'll carry on, and well, it might be tomorrow when I next see you. You'll soon know because I'll probably have changed my car. Bye for now. Tuesday the 28th. So, and a good day to you guys. So it's basically a continuation of what we were doing before. So as you can see there, I'm currently going to place the negative bus bar there and the positive bus bar there, and I'm going to make a channel there for cables to come in and out of there. I'm leaving this space free because I'm sure I'll be able to utilize this area and this area for other things that may or may not be needed. So that's the reason for me going on the furthest points there and there, so I can then filter cables through there and there. I can link up to the positives on this side onto this bus bar, and then basically what we're going to do is we're going to take one main cable down to this lower section behind here, and then through the bulkhead straight over to the battery via a cut-off switch and possibly a large fuse, and the same applies to this side as well. So we can use the negative on this side to attach to here, which then will go down into its own hole and out of the bulkhead around this area behind, and then off to the battery. So then we've got, we're starting to form what do you call it, a circuit out of the boat then, and then we can then start deciding what we're going to do and where we're going to put the cables, etc. Because this area possibly will have a I don't know what they call it, but maybe a transformer or something for the 240 volts, so then you could connect the cooker, the single ring, onto a 240 volt system. Or alternatively, if we don't go down that route, then we can also have something here that then will be attached to the solar paneling, solar power, and then that could go there. So there's plenty of room for other stuff to go there, but at this moment I've no idea. So I think it's more prudent to tuck everything as neatly as possible and use as much space as you can on the top half of this board, and then leave this section clear. So I'm going to cut out those and use my favourite tool, as you well know, and I will see you when I've done. Bye for now. Okay, so I've routed the this is the reverse side of it, so you can see nice and smooth for all the cables, and I've decided I have got plenty of my heavy duty Velcro, which is ideal for all sorts of stuff. So I would definitely recommend this product. I'll let you see it close up. It is absolutely industrious stuff. It's probably one of the strongest. I've used it for lots of product, as you know, putting the ply on the boat, but even for ceilings and things like that. You know, if you're restoring the ceiling and stuff, that I can assure you will hold anything. So that's that product. There you are. It even shows you 7 kilograms it can hold up to. Now I need to staple. Not only is it strong adhesive, I still need to staple it as well, because if I don't staple it, it will pull off because it's wood. So I need to staple it as well to reinforce it, and I haven't got my staple gun. I have a nail gun, but not an actual. I haven't got the staples, which is what I'll need. It'll just pull through a nail. So we'll have to leave that for now. I'll put them on the boat up there somewhere, and I'll go back aboard, and well, we'll do another job, I think. See you shortly. Okay, welcome aboard. Another little update. So we've got a rough idea on how things are taking shape now. As you can see, I'll put the light on for you. Oh, I don't want to go on. I see. Are you going to stay on? No, battery's dead. Right, so as you can see, I've now got, I don't know whether you can see down there, you can see the two conduits down there that go right through the bulkhead, which is this one, which is 110 amp live and 110 amp neutral. So that's enough cable to land on the bus bar, and then obviously then we can then put a connection from there onto there and there onto there. That then leaves this one and also all these here and there for future connections. So we've got enough, nothing's going to be overloaded. So this can all be connected. As you can see, I've just put all the blacks on the top and the reds on the bottom. They're all going to the lives, and these will go to the neutrals, which are these over here. So you can see that that board is now taking shape, which is exactly how we want it, and spaghetti junction will be tucked behind there, which is going to be good. Now, coming out of here, we can see that the live and the earth, I think that's the earth and that's the live. I've put it in a smaller conduit because, and they're independent as well, so vibration is those cables are protected come what may. They are nicely protected. They're going to travel, hopefully. I might have been a little bit conservative with the amount of cable I bought. I bought 3 meters thinking I'd have enough, and they're just about enough to feed them around and around the back of here, because I want all the cabling to travel in the same direction, and I think I've got enough room just to put the cables onto there. But they won't go directly onto there because we need to have something like that placed somewhere, possibly where we can access it. Might even put it on, maybe it's a bit too close to the fuel, to be honest. Maybe I can devise something somewhere along here that we can connect it up, possibly. Maybe take a section on there and then we can use that there. I'll come up with something, I'm sure, but that's the idea. Because I think this is is that fused? 175 amp continuous, I think it might be. I think that is fused. I'd have to check. Check the box. It just repeats what's on the actual thing itself. Well, anyway, it's self-explanatory, which is good. That's what we need, especially when I'm doing it. It needs to be simple. So there we are. That's as far as I've got with this. I don't know what else. And then sort of 4 o'clock-ish now. I think what I'll do is I need to get that Velcro attached to the back, so I need to have a rummage in my garage to find the not the electric stapler. I've got a manual one which will work perfectly, so I need to find that. And we've got a visitor tomorrow, with it being Wednesday. Producer John's going to be turning up. I think he's going to be doing a bit of woodwork of his own, but also we may be putting in something as well, so who knows, we'll have to see. So I think I'll call that a day for now. I shall continue tomorrow, and well, I'll see you tomorrow. Please enjoy yourself, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Wednesday, the 29th. Welcome back. It's a lovely day today, and I was going to bring the green car out, but it's a bit blustery out there, and I've really polished that one, so I've come in Molly the midget again. She won't mind. She's pretty die-hard, is that one. So I've come in her today. Anyway, you currently meet me in the kitchen cupboard. Some people say that's where I should stay and belong, but no, I'm only here temporary. And the reason why I'm here is because I'm going to stick some Velcro on there, and I'm going to stick some Velcro on there. I found my staple gun, but I can't find the staple gun box it came in with all the staples, and I'm hoping, I know there's staples in there, and I've pulled it out, but you can't tell how many's in it, because it's one of them where you put them in the tube and you can't see what's in it, so, and I can't shake them out, so fingers crossed I've got enough to staple both the actual board itself and this. If I haven't, well, we'll just have to muddle through, won't we? So I am going to plonk these two strips on here, and the secret to these, if some of you haven't watched this the episode where I stuck the last lot, I think you can see there, is there's not much room in here for me, the camera and the gun itself. Yes, you can see just about, can't you? So I'm going to heat this up. Without setting myself on fire. Pretty hot. Let's hope I don't set the boat on fire. Hopefully it won't. Go. And by heating it up, it doubles the strength, the adhesion of the glue, because it warms it up. And with a couple of staples in there, one there, one there, one there, because the problem is the pulling power of pulling the item that you've stuck to it does have a tendency to pull the tape off if you're not careful. So I've got to get over that thing without burning it. There we go. go. Right, we'll throw some staples into that. And hopefully we'll be able to pull it off when we want. As you can see, I've already done this one. That's there on there. So I'll put some staples in there. With a bit of luck, we should be good to go. If it doesn't work, well, we'll just have to screw it on, won't we? It's no problem. But I'd prefer this method if possible. Right. So, go and get yourself a cup of tea. You've earned it. Well, you will on this episode, because I'm sure it's going to be a marathon. In fact, John's going to be here soon, so you'll be able to say hello to him. Bye for now. Oh, which button is it? It's the top one. Right. Just as I was dealing with the main cable, the red and the black, we have a recognisable soul in the distance there. Can you see him? Over there. He's having a little ganders with my planer, and he's brought some wood and he's going to do a bit of planing. It's producer John. Producer John, hello.
Hello, friends.
He's still alive, look.
I'm alive.
He's alive. Yes, and soon he will be helping me put the main window in, which will be marvellous. But that won't be just yet, because as you know, my friends, look, we have a tip. Well, generally the warehouse is a tip, but there's just no chance of putting that window in just yet. So, hopefully, I'll get my ducks in a row for next week, and he might be available, and we might get that window in.
I'll make sure I make myself available.
There you are. The whole world knows he's made a commitment.
I'm my word, if nothing else.
Yes, okay, right. Well, I'm just going to give him a lift with that, and, well, I will see you later. Bye for now. Okay, so we finally got that velcroed into place, as you can see. It's looking rather tidy, which is exactly what we want. So we've got all the reds into position. We've got the negatives into position. We've got the main bus bar coming, main negative feed coming in, which would eventually lead over to the battery over there. We've got the same applies with the live. That is now attached to the bottom of there. So we've got lots of accessories we can either put on there or we can put on here, and same with the negatives, etc. So we've got plenty of room to put things. So all we have to do is make another one of those, a short one, from there to there, and then one from there to there, and then that links that up to power. At the moment, everything's independent, but you can see it's all starting to take shape, which is exactly how I wanted it. But more importantly, I can understand what I've done. That's the most important thing. It's all right slapping wires into things and whatnot, but if you don't know what you're doing, then you don't know what you're doing. So I know exactly what they are for. Everything there that's currently on there, as I've said to you before, those have got their own independent switches over there. So that can be live all the time, because we can switch them on and off when we want them. So that's good. These, however, these need to be on the switch, which is over there somewhere. And that I need to now make a box or make something to go there that's aesthetically good. In fact, that's probably going to have to be oak plied to match the doors here, I think. Unless I do something different, I'm not so sure yet. I think it probably needs to be oak ply, and I'm sure I've got enough to do that. So we're getting to the stage where we have to do something about that, because I now need to start putting some of these, connecting these up to the switch, because I then need to put a feed from the switches into there, because that will be a permanent live, and the switches, the lives will be going into the switches, and of course the switches do the job of switching it on and off. So that's what all these are for here, and here and here. So we've got plenty of places to put the lives out of the switches, but we need to start thinking about doing that next. But at the moment I'm very pleased with how it's looking. You might think, well, do you know what each wire is? Yes, I've moved these yellow labels. There's lots of wires behind there. I can pull them through and find out which one's which, because obviously there's a cover that goes over there, and then I can then obviously label each one. They've all got to be fused as well. They should be about a 5 amp fuse, which we can put in, I suppose. So everything's slowly coming together. It's neatly coming out of here as well, which is what I wanted. Everything's protected. So I think so far, when it gets eventually inspected, I'm hoping that whoever inspects it will go, yes, you've done a good job and it's a safe job, and they will pass it, which is ultimately what I need to do, because it's all new to me. I might have gone belt and braces, and some people might say, God, you didn't need to do that and you didn't need to do this, but when you've not done a boat before, yes you do. You need to do it, because you don't know anything else. Right, okay, well, I'm not so sure how long this video's gone on, but I think what I will do is I will put that on. Whatever's on here, I will put this on, and then I'll reopen a new one where we continue doing what we are doing, and that is slowly getting these cables and what have you fitted. So thank you very much for persevering. I do appreciate it. It is a boring one for most, but you know, wiring is the most difficult thing for me, and it is what it is. And it's, as I say on my titles, it is day-to-day restoration of a Nauticus 27 foot. So as I say, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. Don't forget to hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey!